is it's starting to look like our directors are starting to understand the assignment because, my friends, we have some big updates and interesting transfer links worth discussing. So I hope you guys enjoy. Love to everyone that's followed me on TikTok, that's been liking the YouTube shorts, that's been liking everything right now. It feels like a very motivating time to make videos. So I hope you guys stay locked in on BlueLionsTV throughout this summer. Hope you enjoy, and let's get straight into things. Starting with the first piece of good news, the club naturally are looking to extend and offer Moises Caicedo an improved new deal. Now, as we all know, when we signed all these players, we offered them performance-related contracts and bonuses. That meant that if they perform, if they do well, they will always be in line to sign new deals for more money. That's how it works. We saw the same things happen to Nico Jackson and Cole Palmer last season. And naturally, Moises Caicedo, one of our top earners at the moment, around 150k a week, naturally needs to be earning more money after proving himself to be one of the best midfield players, not only in the Premier League, but also in Europe too. He naturally was voted by the players to be their player of the season, which is high praise. And as Cole Palmer himself said, listen, he's been our most consistent, best player this season. And I'm liking this news because, as I've been saying for a long time, whenever we don't have Champions League football, our players earn less money. And in the report that came out from the Telegraph, we actually learned that everyone is earning around 20% less without Champions League football. So the fact that the club feel confident now to make sure they tie Moises down, I think that low-key communicates that we are feeling optimistic of our chances to get a Champions League spot this season, and I'm feeling very confident against Newcastle this weekend. He won't be the only player that we look to tie down to signing a contract extension, especially with potential Champions League football in the horizon. Obviously, with these guys participating, hopefully, in the Champions League next season. So in my opinion, I feel like Enzo Fernandez might be in line for a new extension. Maybe Noni Madueke as well too, as they've played big parts in helping us climb up the table. So expect these contract talks to take place the moment the season's over. And it's nice to see that Moises has been rewarded for one of the most consistent seasons we've seen in a long time. Of course, let me just say a few words for Moises as he celebrated the award that he won a few days ago. As he said, I'm so proud of myself. I thank God first and my family. This is for them too. My level is higher now, but I know that in the next few games and next season are going to be very good. I feel like I've improved a lot. Last season, I learned from it. And this season, I prayed and I told myself that this would be my season because playing for Chelsea is a dream come true. I'm so happy to be here and win this. Being given this award by my teammates means a lot to me, but it's also for them. They help me every day and in every game. It is an award for them too. So congrats to Moises Caicedo, and I'm very happy for Moises Caicedo. Since the end of 2024, we just continue to see him growing and growing and growing. And I think right now, he's just on a completely different level to when he first came here. So it's great news that we are tying down our key players to these, improved new deals and contracts. And it's more motivation now for the rest of the team to level up, improve, and of course, get their money. So how do you guys feel about this news? Let us know below. And this now takes us forward to some pretty interesting news coming out from Holland involving Feyenoord captain and David Hancko. Now, we have shown some interest in Feyenoord players over the last few years. We came incredibly close to signing Chile Hartman, but he got injured at the time and that deal fell through. We've looked at their young fullback who's having a breakout season in Giovanni Reeds, who looks really promising. In Hancko, there's a real strong belief now that he has to leave Feyenoord just for the sake of his career, and he will be one of the most in-demand defensive players in this summer window. Now, unless he had a ridiculous cheap bid turned down last summer, Juventus have shown long-term interest. You've seen small links with Liverpool, but they got rebuffed. Milan, a host of big clubs are looking at David Hancko for very good reason. And there is a belief that he could be available for around 50 million euros, around 42 million pounds, which I think is a pretty fair fee for a guy who's in his prime right now. He's the captain. He is the most valuable player in their squad. transfer market says that his value is around 32 million. And I think for all the competition that Feyenoord are set to receive for his signature, it only makes sense that the value has to be pretty decent. And this is where we can discuss our links for the player. Now, I want to say this real quick. I've seen light reports around this story, but I just kind of dismissed it. You know, I don't always discuss every single piece of news and rumor that comes out, but, you know, credit to Team Talk for being like one of the first outlets to reveal this last month, but also revealing the interest back in December too. I did my research, I looked. So, you know, there is a little truth to these things sometimes, because as I keep telling you guys, every time we get to the summer window and transfer window, see it like this. All the players we're linked to, the story it reveals is the positions we are looking at. And naturally, if you're looking at a certain position, you're going to look at a list of like, 5 to 10 names, and you're going to try and do your best to get your best top 3 options, right? That's how it works. So in steps Hancko, as we're learning, Saudi clubs are trying to sign him. West Ham on the Graham Potter are trying to sign him. But we seem to be in maybe advanced talking stages over the player's availability. And I have to say, I'm not really opposed to a move like this. And I think it really comes down to this. I think Hancko is one of those complete style defenders. Maresca said every month, at least once a month, that he loves to have versatile players. He means he loves players that are flexible across different positions, but can also play different roles. Because with his football that requires his team to overload the opposition, that does mean that sometimes your left back might have to step into midfield to create that overload option. So they have to be good on the ball. They have to be comfortable across all zones. And this is what David Hancko is, down to a T, one of the most complete technical defenders you'd probably say in Europe. I think he's completed the Eredivisie, and he is just known for, his incredible ball progressive skills. I mean, he looks deceptively, he is deceptively technical. Like, you look at his frame, you're thinking this is like another Ivanovic mold style player, which I wouldn't be opposed to having that type of physical profile in the team. But Hancko actually started life as a wing-back when he came from Zelina back in Slovakia. So that really explains why he is so comfortable getting forward, why he's so comfortable carrying from deeper positions, how he creates so much offensively for Feyenoord, and why I feel like he would be a really good profile to have in our team. Now, we're looking at Hato, we're looking at Barker, we're looking at a few options now. We can't have Kukurea burning out next season, not with Champions League football too. We need a stronger team. And I like the idea of a Hancko because he does play the inverted role. He can also play as a left-sided centre-back. He can do a lot of things, right? But I like to have maybe 2 different type of profiles for one position. And I think managers tend to like having that type of abundance in their squads too. And with Hancko, I mean, not only has he proven himself now in Europe for consecutive seasons, you probably say he's the best defender in the Eredivisie, technically accomplished, very skillful with his cutbacks, powerful driving runs inside the box, the crosses from those deep areas too. Sign a striker that can score with his heads, and we're going to do so many big things next season because we have some of the best crosses in the league. And adding Hancko too, that would be great. But you know what? I think I'll be discussing this guy in more detail as we get more reports coming out. So when I make these videos, I don't like to say everything on my mind around a player. So I'm just repeating the same points. But I'm going to end it on this point. I think one of the reasons why I really like Hancko isn't even just on the ball stuff, but it's the other side. It's the mental side. This guy is the captain of Feyenoord. He's been praised for being a very intelligent man. He's been praised for being a role model. He is the player that arrives first in the training ground before everyone else and is the last one to leave. He sets that example. He galvanizes his teammates. He knows how to handle himself in the media and press duties and under pressure. And this is the profile that you have to complement other players in your team and your squad. We can't just restrict ourselves to promise for the future. If Howson is the key guy we're signing, I'm fine. But we definitely have to add a bit of experience to that squad at least. And in Hancko, I think this guy could be a pretty smart, responsible, astute signing. But luckily for us, we are linked with a lot of really good players in this position. But personally, I want to have like a 2-on-1 player, someone who can play in defense, but can also play at left back. And in a way, I feel like Hancko is how we saw Ronaldo Vega. But Vega just doesn't have the mobility to really play that way. So, you know what? At least we're going to profit from him and hopefully reinvest that money into signing someone of Hancko's profile. So you guys, share your thoughts and opinions on this story. Do you like the sound of this player? Do you not? Let us know below. Let's discuss some interesting updates surrounding Franco Mastantuono, the star boy of Argentina right now. Personally, I think this guy, he's got the name Franco Mastantuono. That's like the name of a legend in the making, in my opinion. But we've learned small updates from Argentina. Number one, one of our sporting directors has actually been in Argentina to hold personal conversations with River Plate over the player. Now, another report revealed that our directors absolutely love Mastantuono. And I think what our plan is for the summer, and maybe I should do like a separate video just really going into detail about like what the transfer plan is for the summer. So it's like easier to come back to. But it does seem like if we see exceptional market opportunities for incredible youth talent and players, we are going to exercise that and make it happen. If not, fingers crossed, it is starting to look like Maresca may get some experience added to his team, which will probably be helpful because we have Champions League football potentially next season, right? So that is promising to hear, because a few days prior, reports came out that we had even spoken to Mastantuono's representative, a guy called Tamer, over the availability of his client. And at the moment, we know River Plate are trying to get Mastantuono to agree to signing a new deal. It's going to exponentially give him more money in his deal, but it will also increase his release clause from the 45 million it is now to around 55 million. So it's a pretty respectful rise. And the rumor, or like the common report from Argentina, is that Mastantuono dreams of Real Madrid and may consider remaining at River Plate to ensure that he has the best possible possibility to make that move to Real Madrid. But who knows how that works out, because Madrid financially haven't been that great. And you want to find yourself in a similar position to your Endricks and your Arda Gulers, where you're not getting consistent game time because Bellingham and everyone else will be playing ahead of you. It really is that simple. Still, this story reminds me of similarities between our efforts to sign Esteval Willian, because our sporting directors, or one of them, I think it was it? I can't remember if it was Stuart or Winston Lee, but one of them went to Brazil to have personal talks with Palmeiras at the time. And it feels like we may be doing a similar strategy now for Mastantuono, because, these guys absolutely love him. And if there's a chance to sign him for his release clause, we're going to do that. And we are definitely open to making that deal happen. But having the money and the will to want to sign a player is completely different from persuading Mastantuono to sign for us. And I would just love to understand how the balance would work. I think at the moment, if we did sign him, he would clearly be the understudy backup to a Cole Palmer. And he'll probably get quite a lot of game time in those respects, right? That could be the way we do things. That could be the move. If that was the case, then maybe we're a bit less ambitious when it comes to signing a left winger, because, we might be playing Madueke down that side, who's showing great promise, because Franco can play as the 10 right wing. And, he has been receiving a lot centrally, sometimes playing false 9, sometimes playing as part of a midfield 3. So, I guess there could be ways to maneuver a player of his ability and profiles into our squad that does make a bit of sense. And I guess the question is, it really comes down to how well Kendrick Paz performs at Strasbourg. He could easily be there for 2 years, which, if Santos can be there for 2 years, I don't see why Kendrick couldn't do something similar, right? So let's continue to watch this space, my friends. Because on that note, that is the end for today's news. I do have some big videos planned, and I have been reading the comments. I have been saving suggestions of the type of videos some of you guys would like me to make, and you know what? I'm more than happy to do that. As I was saying before, I used to have this thing where I thought, like lazy YouTubers turn towards getting video advice from their viewers. But I've changed my mind now because obviously if you're respecting me with your time, then I want to also make the videos that you guys care about and like and have you more involved in this community. I could be making a lot more efforts with those types of things. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And also, if you're staying right to the end, also feel free to leave your suggestions for type of videos you would like to see in this summer window. That's going to be me for today. I am going to release my match review on Nini FC. So if you guys want to continue to show us some love, there will be a link to subscribing to Nini FC. I've got some really big plans for that channel that's going to be completely different to what you're seeing on Blue Lions TV. So I am excited about what the future is going to hold in May. And yeah, if you guys want to be part of that journey, you know where the links are. So I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Love. Cool.